That's what's up, nigga.
Everybody, it's your boy Martin 420. Today I'm gonna walk you guys through the SoundMod tutorial, and we're gonna go over the materials you need to do this. So let's just get right down to business and get this over with. Okay, first thing you want to do is head over to RadioShack.com. Pick yourself up one of these sound modules. They're pretty cheap. They run off a 9-volt battery, or you can go to your local Radio Shack. They're hard to find locally, but you might luck out. Next thing you want to do is grab yourself a 9-volt battery to power this thing. Next, you want to get a pair of wire snips to cut the wire. Obviously, you're going to need some wire. You want to get some hot glue gun, hot glue on your connections once you're done making them, so it keeps them strong. Next, you want to get a soldering iron. I use a 15 volt, just so I don't burn the board at all. And you want to get some solder, electrical, and a little electrical tape, and you should be good with that. Alright, this is how it looks out the box. Pretty simple. Over here you got your speaker, got your microphone. This here is the play button. This is the record button. You got your 9-volt battery, and you got your controller board here. Alright, so first thing you want to do is record your own sound. Alright, I already recorded my sound, so I'm not going to go through that part. Once you record that, you can get rid of a few things. First off, you're not going to need the microphone anymore. Once you record your sound and it sounds right, take the battery off, remove the microphone. Okay? Second, you can remove the recording button, which is this button. Take that off. Alright? Next, you're going to have to remove this button here. That's the play button. What you want to do is, once you flip it over here to the back, you got these 3 pins here. You can just pull them up and the button will come right out. You just pull it straight up off the board. Alright? So, to show you, you got 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's the power button removed. When you look at this trace right here, this whole pad, you want to solder onto one on this side and one on this side. You want to be very careful not to bridge the connection. So the best thing to do would be to solder right on the outside traces on each side of this board, of these pads. And remember, do not, whatever you do, bridge the connection. Solder one on this side and one on that side. If you look in between the traces, you can see there's little spaces. You do not want to bridge that, so solder onto the outside. Pretty difficult, but take your time, you should be able to get it. Once you got the piece of solder on, hot glue it into place once you test it to make sure it works. Alright, there's the play button with the wire soldered down to it. You want to glue hot glue on top of that. Here's the bottom of the 360 motherboard. Right here, on this area here, you'll see this is the bottom of the open button. You want to solder your 2 wires to the top 2 pins. Okay? Right underneath of the open button. I'll take these connections that you just made to the motherboard and connect those to the play button onto the sound mod. Okay, this mod still uses a 9-volt battery, so what you're going to need to do is make yourself a battery housing for the 9-volt. This is just a pill bottle. I'll cut it in half, sprayed it red to match the interior of the box I'm making, and I'll put a hole in the bottom to feed the cord through. I'll show you where to put this in a minute, but you want to make a battery housing. It can be the same size as a 9-volt. Maybe give yourself, an inch on top of that. Alright? And then here, we got I extended the cable for the 9-volt battery. And then I'm going to feed the back end, this end, right to the back of that hole. Alright, so we'll be back. Hey, earlier I told you gotta make a place for the 9-volt battery. Alright, so this is the side of the 360 where the hard drive goes. Hard drive will be sitting right here. Alright, down here, you want to make a hole in the grill. I just cut that out with my Dremel. As you can see, the battery fits in there perfectly. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your housing, which is mine here, and you're going to place it behind there, right behind the DVD drive. So it sits like that. The battery is set right down inside of there. Alright, so we'll be back. Okay, so there's the pill bottle glued into the top of the chassis, and then the wires are coming out the back of the bottle for the power. The battery's inside of the bottle. The wires come down, wired on all the way down there. And if you look in here, on this side, I got the speaker hot glued in here. And then I got the mechanism, the recording module, taped up with electrical tape, and then I glued that to the side of the chassis. The wires for the play button were connected to the open button on the disk drive, right on the bottom of the motherboard. So, you know, once you hit the open button, the sound you previously recorded will start to play. I'll demonstrate it once I put the case back together. Here's a view of what the top looks like. There we go. The battery's sitting right inside. Now, once you put the case back on and you put the plastic piece on the top. Okay, once your wiring is all done, it should sound like this. There you go, sound mod.
Hopping like a rabbit. When I take the Nina Ross, you know I got to have it. I lay back in the cut, retain myself.